Hey everybody. Hope you guys had an amazing Monday. Okay, my name is AmmaTheCPA. We will get started shortly. So now is a really good time if you know anybody that would need to hear this information, to go ahead and share the link so that they can get registered as well. The W-4 training, excuse me. I'm like fighting this cold. W-4 training, not AmmaTheCPA.com. You would have gotten it in your email, and it's on the, the one that if you guys registered for it, then you can see which one is, which one is there. So you can go ahead and send that out to anybody that you know needs to get this information. So we'll get started shortly. Just so you guys know, like a little bit about me. So I'm a certified public accountant. And what that means is that, I'm here to serve the public, okay? And it's really part of my upbringing. It's part of my background. My mom is a retired administrator from Chicago Public Schools, and my dad is a retired IRS agent. So I always feel like I had the best of both worlds, right? It's like I love knowledge and learning and teaching, but at the same time, I love crunching numbers. And, one of the things that I love about accounting and tax is that, it's right, it's right. If it's right, it's right. It's no interpretation. You know what they say, numbers don't lie, right? So it's no interpretation for the numbers, right? So that's one of the things that I really, really love about it. And what do I love about entrepreneurship, right? So why am I doing this webinar? I love entrepreneurs. I love the fact that, we take something and create. We're the creators of different things, so many different things in this world. Entrepreneurs are always people that kind of think outside the box. And I love that about us. And congratulations, you're on this. You're probably an entrepreneur as well. And you want to know how you can give yourself a pay raise, right? Or maybe you aren't an entrepreneur. But you want to know how you can give yourself a pay raise without your boss's permission. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and get started with everything. And as I promised you guys, I'm going to give you guys 4 quick, easy steps to spring clean your finances. Okay, so before we get into the W-4, but what I do want to say is so if you don't have a W-4 already printed out, you can pull it up on your screen, maybe pull it up on your phone to kind of go along with us as I'm going through each line of the W-4. And what you want to do is just really pay attention to, does this apply to my situation, right? When I go through the W-4. Afterwards, we will have a Q&A with the CPA, right? That's me. And I won't be able to hear you, but what you can do is type your questions in the chat room, and then I can respond to them, okay, like that. And then the questions are very helpful because sometimes they can help other people that may not be as brave to ask a question, okay? So it's always good to ask questions. And then one more thing before we get started. Jobs accept W-4 adjustments kind of differently, right? So some job may say they want the actual hard copy of the form signed and turned into human resources or your payroll department, where some jobs may have you just go online and enter in the number of allowances. And just so you know, allowances and exemptions that will, as it's related to your W-4, will be the same thing. Okay, so some job may say put in your number of allowances. Some may say put in your number of exemptions. It's going to be the same from your W-4. So you want to make sure that you, if you don't have the W-4, just write it down on a sheet of paper, because I'll go through each line, like I said, and I hope it's very helpful for you guys. So the 4 ways that you can spring clean your finances, right? So number 1, what you want to do is really know your numbers. Okay, this is so important. A lot of times, you know how they say, if you don't know where you're going, anywhere will do. or you can't grow your numbers if you don't know your numbers, right? So you want to make sure that you actually know what your financial freedom number is. You want to know how much you need for retirement, or you want to know what your values are. You know, like, what are you really working towards, okay? And then once you figure that out, then you can know where you actually have to go and develop a plan based around that. Okay. Number two, now most Americans are in debt. You know, some people say it's the new slavery, unfortunately, right? So you want to really create, or not create, you want to adopt a plan to get out of debt, especially credit card debt. Credit card debt is also called the revolving debt. That's the worst type of debt that you can have, okay? A lot of these credit card companies, the interest rate is astronomical, and it's compounding, which means that you have to pay interest on top of your interest. Okay, so it makes it very difficult to get out of debt when you're paying, you know, the minimum payment or just a little bit, and every time the principal, the amount that you actually borrowed in the first place is not going down that much, because you have to, because of the interest, right? So you want to really adopt a plan. And I have a really cool video on my Facebook page. I'm AmmaTheCPA on Facebook. I have a lot of videos posted, but you can go ahead and search through there and see the one about the credit card debt. It's a really good plan that's recommended by so many financial analysts. So you want to really check that out if you are in a lot of credit card debt. Okay, so really adopt a plan, you know, and that's one of the things. It's like you really want to choose something, because I think that so many times we may think like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Just make a decision, right? Okay, so choose something and move forward with that one. Number three, you want to save, save, save. And if any of you listen to like Robert Kiyosaki, you know, he always says like saving is for losers, right? And what he means is that not saving, you don't want to save just to save, but you want to save with a purpose. Okay, one of the things that really just saddens me is that 67% of Americans don't even have $1,000 saved up. Like $1,000 is not a lot of money, you know, and the fact that 67% of Americans do not have that saved up, you know, things have really have to change. And which means that they don't have an emergency fund. They don't have a short-term emergency fund. They don't have a long-term emergency fund. So you really want to work towards that. So you really want to save, save, save. And I also read the other day that about 47% or 48% of couples don't even have $1,000. Okay, so what that means is that even couples, that means like $500 a piece, they don't even have, you know. So you really want to start working on your finances now. So save, save, save is number three. Okay. And then number four, you want to reevaluate your retirement plan. Now, a lot of times when we first started with our job, you know, maybe we were younger, maybe we picked a lot of stocks because we wanted to be more aggressive. As you age, you want to start going into less risky investments. Now, I'm not a investment expert, but I do have an amazing mentor that teaches me everything, you know, but you want to reevaluate your plan. Just make sure that you are as aggressive or not aggressive as you should be based on your age and how soon that you have to retire. So now I hope everybody has their W-4s ready. We're going to run through this, run through the W-4 really quickly, and please jot down any questions, okay? Any questions that you guys may have, just jot them down, and we'll take care of them after we run through the webinar. Thanks so much. See you in a bit. Okay, so let's get started with line A. For line A, you want to go ahead and enter in a number 1 for yourself. Line B, enter a number 1 if you're single and you only have one job, or if you're married and have only one job and your spouse does not work, or if your wages from your second job or your spouse's wages or the total of both are $1,500 or less. Then you want to enter in a number 1 right there. Okay, if those apply to you, then you want to go ahead and enter number 1 on line B. So for line C, if you are married, enter a number 1 for your spouse. Now this only applies if you are married and you file a joint tax return. Then you want to go ahead and enter in a number 1 right there. Okay, and that's for line C. Now for line D, enter the number of dependents that you plan on claiming on your tax return. Now, dependents are not you or your spouse, even if they don't work, okay? Or even if you don't work and you're married and filing a joint tax return. Dependents is just people that you are taking care of, mainly children in your home, but also any other relatives that may be living with you that you provide food and clothing for and shelter. So you want to enter in a number 1 for the dependents other than not including you and your spouse that you claim. So put that number on line D. So on line E, enter a number 1 if you file head of household. Now, you know if you filed head of household in the past. Okay, so if you did file head of household in the past, or you plan on filing head of household for this upcoming tax year, then go ahead and enter number 1 right there. Okay, now we are on line F. So for line F, you want to enter a number 1 if you have at least $2,000 of child or dependent care expenses for which you plan to claim. So this is basically child care. This is child care. So if you pay for even if your child goes to half-day preschool and the rest is half-day child care, then you want to include that as well. So any child care that you pay, if it's more than or at least $2,000, then you enter in a number 1 on line F. Now for G, this is for the child tax credit. Okay, so if your income is less than $70,000 or $100,000 if you're married, then go ahead and enter in a 2 for each eligible child, then deduct 1 if you have 2 to 4 eligible children. So for example, if you have 2 children, then the number would be 4, but then you want to go ahead and deduct 1 if you have, because you have 2 children. Okay, and then deduct 2 if you have 5 or more eligible children. So if you have 5 or more eligible children, then you still include 2 per child, and then you deduct 2 because you have 5 or more children. Okay, now if your income is between $70,000 and $84,000, then you just want to enter in a 1 for each eligible child. And if you're married and your income is between, your joint income is between $100,000 and $119,000, then enter in a number 1 for each eligible child. Now for H, you just simply want to add lines A through G. So I'll give everybody a second to add those lines. Add up lines A through G and put the total on H. Okay, moving right along. Turn to the back for the deductions and adjustments worksheet. So for line 1. Now, this is where you want to include any, if you file a Schedule A, this is where you want to include if you plan on filing a Schedule A or if you have filed a Schedule A in the past, which is for itemizing your deductions. So for line number 1, you want to enter in the total estimate of your itemized deductions, right? So what you want to do, if you filed a Schedule A last year, then you can go ahead and pull that out, and you want to put the number from line 29 on your Schedule A right here for line number 1. If you did not file a Schedule A last year, if you did not itemize your deductions last year, and you aren't sure what you are going to, you can use the estimate based on your mortgage interest and charitable contributions of the year. Now for line number 2, enter in $12,700 if you're married and filing a joint return, or also enter $12,700 if you are a qualifying widow or a widower. Enter in $9,350 if you are filing head of household. And lastly, and not least, definitely not least, you enter if you are single or if you're married filing separately, you want to enter in $6,350 on line number 2. For line 3, we simply want to subtract line 2 from line 1. Now, if you get a negative number, you want to put 0. We do not want a negative number on that line. So if you get a negative number or less, or 0 or less, if you get 0 or less, then put 0. For number 4, this is specifically if you have a home-based business. You want to enter in an estimate of your adjustments for the year to income. Any adjustments that you have for income. So only if you have a home-based business do you want to fill this in right here, because we can take our deductions throughout the year instead of waiting till the end of the year for a refund. So you want to put either $4,050 or $20,000. So let me explain the difference. If you are new to having a home-based business and you aren't really sure what you get to write off or how much you're going to write off, then you want to put $4,050. If you've had a home-based business in the past, or if you just know, even if you're new to the business and you know that you are going to really work your business to try to generate an income, then you want to put $20,000 on line number 4. Now simply let's add lines 3. For number 5, we want to add lines 3 and 4 and put that total on line 5. For line 6, you want to enter in an estimate of any non-wage income that you have. So basically this is dividends or interest. If you have any dividends or interest or any other non-wage income, then you want to go ahead and put that for line number 6. For line number 7, simply subtract 6 from 5. Line 6 from line 5. Again, we do not want a negative number right here. So if you get 0 or less, then just enter in the number 0. Moving right along, line 8, you simply, let's divide the amount that's on line 7 by $4,050 and do not include a fraction. Now for line number 9, enter in the number that we had on the front that was line H. So go to line H on page number 1 and bring your total to the back side of the page and put that number on line number 9. And now you want to add lines 8 and 9 for number 10. For number 10, add the totals that's on line 8 and line number 9. Add up those totals. Okay, now this is the end of the bag. We do not want to fill out the 2 earners portion of the W-4. So this is it. So for the back side, so now the number that you have for number 10, let's go back to the front. Go back to page 1, and you want to put the amount that you have on line 10 on line number 5, which reads total number of allowances you are claiming. In parentheses from line H above or the applicable worksheet on page 2. So we want to put the number, the total number of allowances that we are claiming, write that number on number 5. And now, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. You can fill in the rest of the information that's on the bottom portion of the first page of the W-4. Your first name, last name, all of that personal information. You complete that and turn it into your job tomorrow. Okay, at this time, we'll take any questions. Okay. I hope that was really helpful to everybody out there. Couple things that I want to point out. So when we went through the backside of the W-4 adjustments, right? A lot of people may not even use the backside at all. A lot of people aren't even aware that the back exists. And that's because a lot of jobs will only give you the front. Okay, so especially if you have a home-based business, we get to take so many deductions that, you know, we actually get the same amount of deductions as a brick and mortar, like a regular business like Walmart or Sam's Club or something like that. We get the same amount of tax deductions as those type of businesses. So that's what we did on the backside when we went through number 4. Right now, listen, if you do not have a home-based business, then I don't recommend filling that out. Or let's say you don't have, or if you don't have one, but you plan on getting one, then definitely fill that out. Get back with the person that put you on the webinar, because then you can use that extra money to start your home-based business. And then, of course, that is also a tax write-off. One of the things that I really love about this industry of network marketing and home-based businesses is that, or I should say specifically with the company that I'm with the company that's called My Econ. It's Nove powered by My Econ. And the thing that I love most about it is that we really focus on personal financial success. Okay, it's not a lot of motions and potions and lotions, and you know, we don't sell wraps and all of that other stuff. It's like, you know, we really focus on you and really gaining financial freedom, because that's ultimately what it's all about. Even if you do sell a lot of tea, or you know, if you're in another company that focuses on a lot of products to sell, you're selling that because you want your financial freedom, right? So this is all we focus on, is financial freedom. So as a certified public accountant, that's one of the things that I love best about the company that I chose to be a part of. So like I was saying, if you fill out that part and you don't have a home-based business, I don't recommend it, because we don't want the IRS coming to look for you, right, for taking all these extra tax deductions. However, if you do have a home-based business, then you want to go ahead and fill that portion out. Or if you are starting your home-based business soon, then you want to go ahead and fill that out. Now, don't fill it out and then don't start it, okay? Because again, we don't want you guys to get in trouble from any of this. You know, we always do things legally, ethically, and morally, okay? So if we have any questions at this time, I'll go ahead and take some questions. You can just go ahead and write them in the chat room, and then I can see them, and I'll respond. And like I said, the questions are very helpful because some people may be afraid to ask a question, right? So this way, it'll help anybody. And also, if you are not following me on social media, I'm at AmmaTheCPA on Instagram, and I'm AmmaNancy on Facebook. So you can always reach out to me on there. Like, let's say something happens tomorrow, right? You start to fill it out and you don't know exactly what to do. Feel free to reach out and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so go ahead and any questions and anything like that. But now at this time, what you want to do is also get back with the person that put you on the webinar so that they can help you start your home-based business. And if you just saw it on social media, like on my page or something, then like I said, reach out to me and I can help you get started. Okay, we have a question. What if I don't like a home-based business? Can I still do mine like this? If I don't have a home-based business. Okay, Sabria, if you do not have a home-based business, that's a really good question. If you do not have a home-based business, then do not fill out number 4 on the back of the W-4. So you'll completely skip that line, but you want to just mainly stick to the front part of the W-4. And then if you itemize your deductions, meaning like real estate taxes, home mortgage interest points, and stuff like that, then that's 1 through 3 on the back side of the W-4. But if not, then you want to go ahead and not fill out number 4. I'm so sorry. I have A&D ointment. I have A&D ointment on my nose, so it won't, you know. But I know it looks extra shiny right now. Sorry. So yeah, that's a really good question. So I hope that answered your question, Sabria. So if you do not have a home-based business, do not fill out number 4 on the back side. So if you don't have a home-based business, then you won't be able to take advantage of the extra tax deductions that are awarded to us as home-based business owners. That's the main thing, is actually having a business in order to be able to take those deductions. Okay, so if you do not have a business, then do not fill that part out. But still go ahead and fill out the front part of the W-4. And then if you itemize your deductions, meaning if you have a Schedule A on your tax return from last year, then you want to fill out 1 through 3 on the back side. 1 through 3, skip number 4, and then fill out the rest. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Do we have any other questions? Any other questions that I can help you guys out with? One of the things that I get a lot, people ask me a lot, is can they file head of household and don't claim a dependent? So let's say you and your wife, husband, whatever, ex-girlfriend, right, are split, and you want to fill out your W-4, but the child is not with you, whether it's the man or the woman, right? The child is not with you. You do not claim the child, then you do not want to claim head of household. Okay, I get that question a lot because people feel like I'm still providing, and that's very true. You are still providing, but you have to, in order for you to file head of household, you have to have a qualifying dependent. Okay, let me see. I'm thinking of starting one soon. Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you want to start a home-based business, like I said, the one that I'm in, I absolutely love. It's called My Econ. You know, You're welcome, Lamar. It's called My Econ, and it's an amazing home-based business because, like I said, we focus on personal financial success. We don't require that you have a lot of products on auto ship or anything like that. Sometimes these businesses can get expensive, but this is one that I do not find that it can get expensive, and it's very helpful because it's all about strategizing your way to wealth. You have to strategize. What if you owe the IRS? Okay, Anthony. If you owe the IRS from previous years, what if you owe the IRS? Can you still do this? So you can still fill it out unless they have you blocked from filling it out. And if they have you blocked, then you'll know because they would have sent you a letter, and then maybe they want to take your current income tax, your current taxes to pay off that money from prior years or something. And they would have sent you a letter though, so you will know if you cannot do this. If you, depending on how much you owe them, right, you may want to just go ahead and get that out the way. But I would still fill this out because this is for this year, right? And this is for the deductions that you'll get for this year. So you can still work out whatever you have to work out with them from previous years, whatever you owe them from previous years, you can still work that out. And you may even be able to incorporate it somehow with the money that they're taking from your paycheck now. But by claiming these deductions, they'll take out less. So it depends on how much you owe and if they blocked you from adjusting your W-4. Hope that helps. So in a nutshell, yes, you can unless they blocked you, but you'll know if they blocked you because they would have sent you a letter. Okay. Oh, you are welcome, Tracy. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are great. So like I said, definitely get back with the person. You're welcome, Anthony. I hope it was helpful. Get back with the person that put you on the webinar. They can definitely help you start your home-based business. A lot of people that may share it. Oh, you're welcome, Sabrina. I'm so glad it was helpful. A lot of people that may share it may be in the same business with me, so they can definitely help you get started on the right track. And like I said, if you are interested and you just saw it, then you want to reach out to me on social media, and I can help answer any questions or help you get started. So if that's all the questions we had, then we'll go ahead and get out of here. Hope everybody continues to have an amazing, amazing day. I'm AmmaTheCPA, your favorite CPA's favorite CPA. Talk to you guys soon.